one. Welcome to this month's episode of the NTM Growth Marketing Podcast. Today, we're going to be speaking with Tiffany Gale, who's been working with No Typical Moments for, I want to say, almost 4.5 years now. Wide array of digital skills that she's been honing in over the years. And I think we're going to have a really awesome conversation today with 3 trends that Tiffany is noticing in digital. So Tiffany, to start off, how about you give a little bit of a bio of yourself and we'll dive right into topic 1.
Sure. I've been doing digital marketing probably for 17 years now. I've worked inside of companies and outside of companies as a consultant. Right now I'm a consultant. I've gotten companies to 1 million followers or via paid advertising, anywhere from 2x to 10x revenue. And I've also led a team of people inside of NTM to just create kind of the best possible outcomes using digital marketing. So I kind of bring my digital marketing knowledge, years of experience, lots of case studies, and also my leadership with working throughout teams to the table.
Awesome. So let's dive into topic 1. What is the first one that you want to share today, Tiffany?
I wanted to talk about email marketing in 2022 with iOS 15 and what that kind of will look like coming down the pike. It's similar to the iOS 14 update that we experienced that kind of caused a little bit of an Armageddon with advertising on Facebook. So with email marketing, this will be rolled out. We haven't really seen it rolled out just yet. But for email marketing, open rates are going to be overly stated. We'll also won't be able to see some of the click-through rates. And additionally, further down the line, you might not be able to see like actual email addresses. And another thing that you're going to be missing is location, because the IP information won't be there anymore. So there's some things coming down with email marketing that companies need to be aware of and just make some changes inside of their teams and their procedures just to kind of go around it. It's not going to be an Armageddon as much as iOS 14 maybe, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on and be prepared for. So that's one thing to look forward to.
So I'd love to hear some thoughts on this because it's almost like the COVID variants, each one becomes less severe. It's like each new iOS update is becoming less severe down the pipe. So iOS 14 was Armageddon for a lot of organizations. Our agency in particular just saw ramifications on it. We were really active in strategy approaches over the summer of what to do with those workarounds with tracking and optimizing your campaigns. What are, maybe if you could list out like 3 proactive strategies or thoughts organizations, agency owners could be thinking about now for the deployment of this new iOS update?
Do you want agency owners or just clients?
Let's go into clients, yeah.
Okay, so if I would test as many subject lines as possible right now and see which ones really work just before that might change because your open rates are going to be inflated. I would look at any flows that are automated via engagement using open rates or click-through rates and update them because they probably won't work. And then I would just go in and identify some different KPIs inside of email marketing that you're going to start using as your kind of true north and like this is a success. So, engagement and stuff like that might be better markers for you guys down the road. So those are a few things that I would start doing.
Would you say there's any email marketing softwares that you should be investing in or any that are going to be irrelevant? Like for instance, is MailChimp just not going to suffice anymore and you need to be investing in something higher quality like an Aweber, for instance?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that. I think it's typical standards of what's coming through with email. just MailChimp is just is not as complex, or you can't do as much as other ones. Like Klaviyo is one that a lot of people like and use, and there's definitely an option to select to track not with click-throughs, and you can track other ways. So I think you're just going to have to look at your system and see whatever you're using and see if it kind of works for you. Yeah.
Awesome. So I think the good news is that if you survived iOS 14, this will not be as extreme, and hopefully you have some good systems and protocols in place of how to deal with these iOS updates.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. Awesome. Yeah, just get ahead of the curve really before it comes in. Like what we experienced is all of a sudden that switch happened, like it actually started and things got like really crazy, and you can see the spikes when iOS actually really hit. So it just hasn't hit just yet. So you have time.
Cool. Awesome. Let's go into trend number 2.
So trend number 2, I'll switch over to first party data. So it kind of has a little bit of a dovetail through the email marketing and the changes there with privacy. So there will be some privacy editing with emails, and you will have an option to have your emails like cloaked in a way or have it private. So what that means on the client side is you might not be getting actual email addresses. So they're coming up with other ways to contain or get first party data is something to keep an eye on for sure. So one suggestion, one workaround is messenger marketing. It used to be like a big, new shiny object to use and do, and it kind of faded a little bit, but it's making a little bit of a comeback because you're able to collect email addresses using Messenger, and you can get the actual email address. So the more first party data that you can have, the better, because you have more control of
that. We just had one of our clients, I'm not going to reveal name and data. If you know who I'm talking about, just did the Messenger ad campaign. Do we know how that data actually performed? Is you're so right, like, was that 2 or 3 years ago, Messenger bot campaigns were the hottest thing, and then it felt like they just vanished overnight. But they could be making a comeback in 2022 now.
Yeah, I don't know the exact numbers off the top of my head, but I do know the Messenger campaign that we added in was definitely super helpful in the success of the campaign. And we did get a 6x ROAS on that. And we added in the Messenger kind of bot, like a little bit of a sequence, a little bit of something to assist them in any of their questions and capturing. So I think it's definitely something to look at again, and just keep them simple. Like, I think everybody made them so complicated and they can do this and that. Like, just make them simple, straightforward, few actions, and move on from it.
Perfect. Let's go to trend number 3.
Trend number 3, I would say omnipresence.
Yes.
So what that means is spreading your eggs. You have a few more eggs in different baskets. In our experience, Andrew, like, we've experienced accounts getting shut down kind of out of the blue, not sure why, or like the credit card didn't work, or they updated their information, so the account got shut down. So some accounts, they're spending thousands of dollars a day, they lose a lot of revenue. And if that's the only platform that you're on, you're going to have a situation for sure. So, and with Facebook and all the changes, the targeting isn't as great as it used to be, and some of the data isn't as great. So really diversifying on other platforms like TikTok, Google. Google has YouTube search and Google Display Network. Those are really great. You do need a higher budget to start testing over there. That's why we always test on Facebook first, because you can roll out with a.
You're referring to YouTube. You need a higher budget, correct?
Yeah, YouTube and Google for the most part. I mean, search ads, you can start a little lower, but Facebook, that's why we usually start on Facebook, because you had a little bit more targeting and you can start with smaller budgets. But I really think it's important to start diversifying across channels. TikTok is interesting. There's a lot of cool data in there. It's still a little bit of the Wild West. I'm not sure what you're going to get. So testing that would be fun. LinkedIn is another area. Their CPLs or, their costs are typically higher, but if you have a business that's the right fit, it might be worth testing. So yeah, definitely looking at other channels and really putting time and strategy into that is something we highly recommend because just we don't know. And Facebook, things change every single day there, and you can be shut down at a moment's notice. We had one client that was turned off for 3 weeks, and we just had to roll with it. So there's definitely
Yeah.
things that we do to make, we have other accounts. There's things that we can do to offset that, but it's definitely a challenge and a threat moving forward. So other platforms, look into them. The cost per lead on Google seems to be coming down and being just as good. And YouTube has awesome targeting. The trick with that is the right creative and just getting some creative, different sizes and formatting them a little bit differently. So, make the effort, I would say make the effort to work on your creatives and have them be able to fit on different platforms. Plan for that, for sure.
Yeah, I want to dive a little bit deeper into an omnipresent strategy and what this might look like in deploying a campaign. And I guess a lot of this is ultimately going to just come back to your budget. Are you recommending that you deploy, full steam ahead on multiple platforms at once? Do you want to go heavy on one, but use maybe display and search for retargeting initiatives? What are some like entry point strategies if you are going to do omnipresent? Or is it like put it on Facebook for 3 months, then get the next one rolling?
Yeah, that's a really great question. It depends, I guess, on the client, but a good thing would be test on Facebook, test some creative, know which kind of winning creative you have, and then tweak it slightly and put it on the other channels. Search is one that, it's low hanging fruit. If you have some keywords, people are searching and everything like that, that's definitely low hanging fruit just to kind of get that audience. It's more of, as you put your content and campaigns on different channels, you'll see your CPLs kind of go down because they're all helping each other. What is that rising boat? Like, what's that quote, Andrew?
I know what you're talking about.
All ships rise. Forget the quote. But anyways, the point is that if you're putting money in Google and Facebook, you'll see across the board, your CPLs kind of come down because they support each other. So test on Facebook, take your best creative, put it on Google, and go from there. Just know that sometimes the intent in Google marketing, and there's a different intention. People are searching differently, like on Google or YouTube versus a Facebook. So your content needs to speak to where they are in that buyer flow. So are they looking? Do they even know they have a problem? Or, like educate them and then give them the solution. So there's definitely like, where are they in the customer journey?
Awesome. My last question, and I have to ask about TikTok because it's been brought up continuously for the past like 4 or 5 months of, is this platform emerging? It's the wild, wild west, or CPL cost just going to be super low. Me as an individual, I downloaded TikTok once and I created one video and I saw how addicting it was. And I just thought, yep, no chance I can keep this app on my phone. I know where I'm going. So why is, if you were kind of making a pitch as to why people should pay attention to TikTok, why should someone pay attention to TikTok and take it seriously of like the dancing app to an actual business asset now?
Yeah, I know. I downloaded it with my niece and we were on it constantly. I'm like, oh my gosh. So the reason what I find interesting about TikTok is you can see other advertisers like data. So you can see how well they're doing with their ads, and you can see their ads, obviously. So you're able to, there's a lot of information and data you can pull off of it to see, oh, this person, like we've seen like real estate actually do really well on there. We've seen coaches do well, and kind of look at their content. So there's data that is, you're able to view and, slice and dice however you want. And, that's why digital marketing is so wonderful. We have more data than we need, but that we can get the data and make decisions right away. So that's, I think, what's exciting about TikTok. And I also think the audience is getting more broad, which means it's not cool anymore. I'm sure we'll see another platform emerge sooner than later. But there's definitely the older audience on there now as well. So I would say data. So figure out your KPIs, what you think is going to work. Make sure you have your tracking in place and spend some money there and see if it works. I think the one barrier for TikTok is the creative, right? Like making the creative that feels native to the platform and not an ad is definitely the challenge. But people are doing it and they're doing really well, and you can see their results. You know, like Facebook has the ads library, so you can see all, you know, ads. I can pull up like Tony Robbins, for instance. I can see all of his ads, but I don't know how well they're doing. In TikTok, you can.
That is a game changer to be able to see that data. Is when we do our competitor analysis and show Facebook ads library, it's more of, you know, just showing the creative and if we think it's working, but you have no idea if it's actually working or not.
Yeah. So that's fun. So if you like numbers and you like to play around in that kind of thing and do tests, try it. And the CPMs are probably low. Like the costs are probably low right now, you know. They'll get high like they all do, but go try it.
Awesome, T. Well, thank you for sharing your insights today, and much appreciated. And love your 3 strategy thoughts.
Yeah, thank you so much. I wish everybody lots of, you know, good flow and prosperity in 2022 on digital marketing platforms. So.